Hey, what's going on? In this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about suicide and hopefully help anyone out there that's been affected by it have a better understanding. Now, for most of my life, I saw suicide as a weakness. I saw it as coward's way out. I question how someone could attempt to take their life when they had a child, and on top of that, not leave a note. It was never an option for me. In 2013, my mom passed away from cancer 3 months before my son was born. Caused me to lose faith in the God that I'd prayed my whole life to. I found out that I'd been lied to my whole life about who my grandparents were. So as I looked at my mom laying in a coma, I went from feeling as if I knew her more than anyone to as if she was a complete stranger. Caused me to question everything I'd ever been told and what I could believe and what I couldn't believe. And on top of that, when my mom sat up out of a coma after a week without talking and opened up her eyes and passed away in my arms, it made me realize like never before that my time here was limited. And this forced me to do an internal audit of who I'd become in my life and why. And I look back and I seen someone that was always full of sadness, anxiety, depression, anger. I grew up in a chaotic environment, and then I'd go to school and get bullied, and then I'd go into class and have learning disabilities. And so I never enjoyed this life, right? And when I evaluated everything in my life, I became aware that I was in a marriage that was no longer healthy. I felt trapped in this job that I'd been working at for 13, 14 years, doing the exact same thing like a robot. And I just saw a life that wasn't really worth living anymore. And on top of that, you know, for 13 months, I didn't want to be alive, but suicide wasn't an option for me, right? I would get up and it felt as if I had no heart or soul in my body. But I would get up at 5:30 every day, Monday to Friday, when the alarm went off to go to work. And I just felt like a robot, and my life was just on this cycle, and I was just watching it. And after attempting to just live life for 13 months after I no longer wanted to be alive, I sat in my garage one day and I asked myself, I was like, could I see myself living another 20 or 40 years with this pain in my heart? And I told myself that I couldn't do it anymore. The pain had just gotten to be so unbearable that I couldn't do it. I couldn't see myself doing it for another 3 or 4 decades. And on top of that, I just convinced myself that the world would be better off without me. And so in 2014, I attempted to take my life, and if it wasn't for Archangel Michael appearing, I wouldn't be here. Now, I've been making videos on YouTube for a while, but my TikTok channel is really blowing up in the last couple of years. Over 2 million views on my videos, almost 40,000 subscribers. I've been sharing my story for a while, and a lot of people have reached out, some saying how they've been affected by suicide, and others still not understanding it, still seeing it as a weakness. And I just wanted to give an example with this little piece of wood right here to help you guys better understand suicide. Now, the reason, there's a negative, of course, suicide's not good, right? But there's also this negative connotation behind it, or if that makes sense. Some people believe that they've reached their breaking point and they bounce back so that they can judge others. First of all, we don't understand what people are carrying in their shoes. We don't understand what they've been through. But not only on top of that, a lot of people think they've reached their breaking point and bounced back, but they truly haven't. For instance, with this piece of wood here, you can put it under pressure and it'll bend, and it may feel like it's about to break, but if I let it go, it bounces back. And a lot of people have been through a lot of shit in life, and they considered that was their breaking point, and they bounced back. Now, there's a lot to be said. That's a great job to get out of that state of depression before it got any further. But the truth is, when this piece of wood reaches its breaking point, what happens? Okay, I can bend it, but then it breaks. So once this piece of wood reaches its breaking point, it doesn't bounce back. It commits suicide or attempts to commit suicide. And so just understanding that because you've been through hard times in your life, it doesn't truly mean that you understand what everyone else has been through. So I hope this helps. If you lost someone to suicide, just know that they were going through a great amount of pain that you've probably never experienced. That's all I got. Thanks for watching.